Were you expecting something? Maybe the thunder of footsteps? Joyful laughter? The ring of a bell? Not everything's the same. The pandemic has changed the way we do everything. Businesses are closed. We are physically distancing, finding ways to entertain ourselves. Schools are closed. Pens and papers are no longer the norm. Teachers are still adapting. Online education wasn't expected to last this long. Students are getting tired. Parents are getting tired, yet nothing can be done about it. But what about the educators? How have they pushed through in this pandemic? How has it affected something that has become a routine to them?
I think most of the older generation teachers who aren't as tech savvy as the younger generation teachers find it a bit difficult to be creative with their classes when it comes to online, because they are not as knowledgeable as the younger teachers when it comes to tech and how to make a good online class.
Honestly, I really think that they are just overloading the homework and they're not really teaching much. They're going through the same thing again and again. They really think that that is a way of passing our exams. That's their main aim. Their aim is just for us to pass our exams or get A's.
I think teachers can be more engaging in their classes. They can be more interactive. They can ask students more questions. They can have more fun quizzes, and that can really elevate the enthusiasm in the class.
Sometimes when the teachers ask us a question, we don't really answer because the class is silent, only the teachers talking. We'll be anxious whether we want to let out a voice or something. It's really hard for the students and the teachers because we don't feel comfortable talking to a laptop. It's really not the right thing to do. So in a way, the teachers also feel their discomfort since it's like they're talking to themselves because none of the students are responding to the teachers when they're asking the questions.
In a physical environment, it is, or what we call it in education as in-person teaching, all right, face-to-face in-person teaching. Definitely my experience with face-to-face in-person teaching is much more positive compared to the online environment. The experience has pretty much been positive. I love the interactions, the intimacy that we have with students when you're able to see their faces, their reactions, and you just know that whenever there are questions, you can see on the students' faces whether they understand, the comprehension is there.
Once MCO came about, the role of the teacher evolved. That's the first thing that happened, because now you have teachers. I have colleagues who literally said, I am not going to be able to teach. I'm waiting for the first MCO. When it was announced, it was, oh yeah, we're just going to go into lockdown for 2 weeks. Let's see how it goes. Maybe we're going to be out of it. I don't know why we thought it was just going to end after 2 weeks, but I remember one of my older colleagues was like, I can't do this. I can't figure out how to log on. I can't figure out how to do this. I can't figure out how to do that. So please just take this class away from me. Once we get back to normal classes, I'm happy to continue teaching, So your role as a teacher had to evolve pretty quickly. You had to find ways to make your classes more engaging and interactive. You had to grab onto and hold on the students' attention.
I think teachers can be a lot more interactive with the students, because a lot of teachers, they make the class seem like a lecture, which is not really very healthy for school students, because they aren't really good in the environment where they just take in all the information and then do their own self-studying.
Those students who definitely felt that they require more connection, a bit more time to get to warm up to the way I teach, to the way the online environment. The only few ways that we can go about this is conduct regular consultations. So a lot of my outside of class times, it's usually a one-to-one or one-to-few students who feel that they need a bit more time with me.
I relied heavily on apps like Kahoot, where you kind of make the student engage. So I come up with questions, whether it's revision questions or just general knowledge questions, just to have fun in the classroom. And essentially the way Kahoot works is that the student needs to have their PC in order to see the questions and their mobile device in their hand in order to answer the question. And that way it's not just listening to me talk or looking at whatever material it is that I'm presenting during the Zoom meeting.
Those slow learners, right? We also give them time to adjust to the learning system. Like I have one student, first few months that he just joined us, right? He doesn't do anything. He's not like the other kids. Other kids will just follow us. But this student, he's a bit more slow. So we just give him time. Like we don't push him or don't score him, but every day we just keep repeating the same routine. And then I think over time he became slowly joining all the activities.
So imagine that it was a student in class and I'm asking a question, Theo, what's the answer to number 5? And Theo is there just sleeping and he's left his computer on.
Online platforms, you don't really get that physical connection with the students. So there's a distance, all right? There's a perceived distance between the camera or between, online platforms, especially if the students don't turn on the camera. If they don't turn on the camera, you wouldn't know whether they are really paying attention, whether they are really listening. A typical experience for a lot of academics, a lot of teachers across various levels. Personally, on their own, they are actually a mess and they are not having the motivation to do their individual assignments because they don't feel like, they are physically cut off and they are not able to cope on their own, and so they don't have that morale, but they still come to class, they still participate, but because they don't approach me, to talk to me, to share their personal issues and struggles, I completely missed out on them. I just these are the people that I ask questions like, so how are things with you? Is your progress doing okay? And they will say, yeah. And then by the time submission time comes around, they didn't submit their assignment. And then they tell me that they don't have the motivation to work on it. So those are the students that that really struggle, unfortunately.
Everyone has something to say, so it is it is quite interesting. You now have to really think hard what not to say, not to trigger them to go off on a tangent. It's true. Man, being a teacher should be like an extreme sport.
The virus isn't going anywhere anytime soon. The online lifestyle will continue to be the norm for the foreseeable future. Nobody said it was ever going to be easy. But to every dark cave is the light at the end. Online education will stay just that, online. The best anyone can do is to take it one day at a time, pushing through where we have to, and support each other in these confusing times.